It was sometime around midnight when I spotted him. The rain was coming down hard, and the wipers could barely keep up. I'd been on the road for hours, heading from Dallas to Amarillo. Nothing but open highway and scattered truck stops. That's when I saw him. A man walking along the shoulder, soaked to the bone, one hand raised like he'd been trying to wave someone down for miles. Normally, I'd keep driving. You hear enough stories, you learn not to stop. But something about this guy, I don't know. Maybe it was guilt? Maybe I just didn't want that face burned into my mind all night. I slowed down, rolled the window halfway. He stepped closer, rain dripping from his hood, face half hidden in shadow. "Need a ride?" I asked. He just nodded once, didn't say a word. He got in, closed the door gently, and stared straight ahead. I figured he was cold, maybe in shock. "You all right, man?" I asked. "Nothing." "Where you headed?" Finally, he spoke. His voice was calm, too calm. "Just north. You can drop me anywhere." That should have been the first red flag, anywhere, but I shrugged it off and kept driving. For a few minutes, the only sounds were the rain, the hum of the tires, and his slow breathing. Every time lightning flashed, I could see his hands, pale, muddy, resting perfectly still on his knees, too still. When I offered him a towel from the glove box, he didn't move, didn't even look at me. Then he asked, softly, "You drive this road often?" "Sometimes," I said. "Why?" He smiled faintly. "Strange things happen out here." That sentence hung in the air for a long time. The storm outside seemed to quiet down just enough for me to hear the creak of the passenger seat leather every time he shifted. I glanced at the clock, 12:47 a.m. The sign up ahead read, "Next gas 27 miles." I tried to change the subject. "So what happened? Car breakdown?" He didn't answer right away. Then, without turning, he said, "I was in a car, yes, but I wasn't the one driving." Something in his tone made me grip the steering wheel tighter. I wanted to ask more, but something in me said don't. Then he turned his head toward the window, slow, almost mechanical, and said, "I used to sit where you are." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He didn't answer, just stared at the reflection in the glass. Lightning flashed again, and in that split second, his reflection in the window wasn't his. It looked burned, blackened. But when I looked back at him, his face was perfectly normal. My mouth went dry. I told myself it was just the light. Just exhaustion. A few minutes later, the man said, "You can let me out here." We were in the middle of nowhere. No houses, no lights, just fields and wet asphalt stretching for miles. "You sure?" I asked. "There's nothing around." He smiled again, this time wider. "I know." He opened the door before I even stopped completely, then turned to me and said, "Thanks for the ride." I remember nodding awkwardly, reaching for the door lock. But before I could say anything else, he added, "You should keep your headlights on this time." Then he stepped out and disappeared into the rain. I sat there for a moment, confused. Headlights on this time? I hadn't turned them off. Then I glanced at the dashboard and froze. My headlights switch was off, but the road in front of me was still glowing bright white, like something was shining light back at me. I turned around to look through the rear window and saw a car parked behind me, half crushed, steam rising from its hood, no headlights, no driver. And in the driver's seat, the same man smiling. The rain started pounding again as I floored the gas and tore down the highway. In my rearview mirror, the car stayed where it was, but the headlights never faded. They stayed in the distance, glowing, until I couldn't tell if they were following me or if they'd never been there at all.